I try to swing. Ladies and gentlemen. My stand has a 3-leg mic stand and it got in the way. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 4-Letter Nerd. It is your host with the most, Spider Mayhem. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be laughing at that one for a little bit. We are here to talk about the Spiderverse. As always, the 4-Letter Nerd. The 4-Letter Nerd is a Hyrule Geeks Unlimited production, or as Reggie said, production. And today, Hyrule Geeks Unlimited. Yeah, there you go. And we've got a really great cast. We got some really great feelings. But first, let me bring them in. As always, the guy who's always been black from the waist down, Burgifine.
What up there, Mayhem?
I'm sorry, Peter B. Parker.
Peter B. Parker. My alternate nickname here.
I hear that.
We're going with the Spiderverse thing. I got to go with it.
I got to work on my swinging, man. I
saw that. You tried to swing in, but you just backed in. Web's not working right.
I don't want to talk about it right now, okay? I'm working on it. With us always, keeping us glued together, Lady Sid and I.
I feel like I was the only one not creative with my name this week. But the person that I identify with the most is like Miles's mom, so I'm not really sure how I would work that in any way. Spider Mom. How about
Spider Mom? There you go, Spider Mom. All right. And then as always, we have Ross
Morales.
Oh, there you go. And our last person to join us, our last host is Ross Sun, Spider God.
Raw Sun Spider God. It's very neat.
What?
Anyway, so
No.
You deserve that. No, you deserve that one.
No,
I think.
you did not. That was mean.
Oh,
it was.
Well, I'm okay with that. All right.
You're okay. Well, I'm okay with this. I'm okay with that. So it's okay. He forgets. We both have the power. So, ladies and gentlemen.
Can I try
the host is back. Oh, hey,
Can I try swinging again? All right.
Swinging. Yes.
Okay. So we're going to talk about this movie, Across the Spider-Verse. It's currently in theaters. It will be coming to digital streaming in August. We don't know when, we don't know where, we don't know how, but we know we're talking spiders now, or something like that. First of all, before we get into this, what I want is y'all's vote from a 1 to 10. What were you giving this movie? And what did you think before you came into it? Like, did it change once you saw it? Did you think you were going to get an 8 and you got like a 10? Did you think you were going to get a 7 and got a 5? I'm going to start, of course, with Burgifine, Peter B. Parker.
Honestly, when I went into it, like coming off the first one, it was like, how can they improve on what I thought was like one of the best Spider-Man movies that they've ever done? Okay. So I kind of was like thinking, I'm like, if this is even a 7, like, good second one. And honestly, I walked out of there thinking this is like honestly like a 9.5. Like, it was that damn good. The amount of stuff that they put in, the different spiders, all the different memes, the Easter eggs that you saw in the backgrounds, all the different stuff, the soundtrack. Come on, we know we were looking for a fire soundtrack. If it didn't have a fire soundtrack, we were going to knock points off on that. And that soundtrack was perfect, so good. I seriously.
Do you know who did the soundtrack?
No.
Metro Boomin, the producer.
Metro Boomin don't trust you.
A hip hop producer, DJ. I think he started as a DJ and he was a producer, and now he's always been a company exec. He did everything. There's a track. So you know me in soundtracks. You remember Ludwig? You remember Ludwig from Black Panther?
You still talk about it.
I do. That man, Ludwig. Let's talk.
He did his shit.
So Metro Boomin arguably did the same thing too. You don't necessarily have to listen to the songs, although the songs are dope. It's how they cut up the audio from it, and it's amazing on how they apply it into the actual movie. So I see you looking at it right now. I'm gonna switch it over to Kat. I don't blame you. I did the same thing. Kat, please tell me, going into this movie, what did you think of it? What was your vote? 1 to 10.
Well, as Bergie said, the expectations were set pretty high after the first one, so I was hoping for them to at least, I don't know, because like sequels they're either, I guess with everything, they're either better or they're worse. I was hoping for at least on par. And it definitely exceeded my expectations. Everything about this film is beautiful. The visuals, the casting, the story. the music, even like the sound effects and the transitioning from keeping the art styles from each of the Spider verses while they're all together in one Spider-Verse, I thought was like a stroke of genius. So it's like I want to give it an 11 out of 10, but I also want to knock off a point or two because I'm mad that it's a cliffhanger ending. but because it was like, okay, it's 130 something minutes, like 32 or 136 runtime. So I'm looking at my watch because I had plans afterwards, and I'm like, there's still a lot that needs to happen. And I swear we've been here over 2 hours. Like, how are they going to? And then when it just kind of ended where it did, and I was like, oh, you. But
Yep.
it was just so amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And I know another one is coming, and I'm even more confident that that third one is going to be just as amazing. I can't imagine that they'll fumble this after this beautiful setup. So yeah, I'm going to stick with my 11 out of 10 when I went in hoping for like a 7 out of 10.
If they say with what they have accomplished for part 2, same artwork, same stuff like that, keep it going, it's going to be a 20 out of 10.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Kat. Thank you, Bergie. Mr. Spider God, once again, 1 to 10, what's your score? And of course, what did you think before seeing the movie?
Before seeing the movie, I was expecting a solid 9. I'm like, cool, it's Spider-Verse. They know what they're doing. This is where Marvel gets to shine like DC animated. That's what I was thinking. It's like, this is where they shine like DC animated. And then this movie said, oh, DC animated? Yeah, you can get down there now. So I went in expecting a 9, and like Lady Sid and I got an 11. Because I went into this movie, my voice was fine. I came out of this movie, I did not yell one time in this movie. My excitement was so high and in my throat, my voice was as though I was at a concert for 5 hours yelling and screaming at the concert. I'm on the phone with Mia. I'm like, yeah, I'm like, where's my voice? I didn't even do anything. Bro, the excitement just welled up into here, got stuck, and eroded my voice for like 5 hours.
Now that you say that, I came out with my throat parched too.
And I had a whole big ass drink. And I'm like, my throat is still like this. I was just that excited.
Okay.
Yes, I am, Thomas.
Okay. I really don't have much to add on because, like everybody else, thank you very much, Bergie. Ra. I kind of came in with expectations of a 7, but then I just let it go. I was like, screw it. It's going to be what it is. You know what I'm saying? But the trailer set me up for like, oh, this is going to be phenomenal. And then my friend told me, it took 5 years for them to make it. I was like, it didn't take 5 years. Well, it took 5 years for them to kind of like get through everything. I was like, yo. So the animation, the character cues, the character hues for the character cues, the colors, the introductions, and the backstory when needed, the constant what's going on, I'm interested. Like Miguel in that one scene with the vulture, like,
Bruh.
yeah, I'm gonna have to do something real quick. But it was so many different things. Arguably, I didn't feel Gwen was the shining spider.
She wasn't supposed to be.
I don't think she was meant to be.
Right?
She was supposed to be the instigator of this movie. That was her role.
Hear me out.
And I thought her introduction was really powerful. And then like you get that and you think you're in the movie, and then all of a sudden the credits start and you're like, oh, we haven't even started. Because it was like 15 minutes or something. Like it was a good 15 to 20 minutes of all of this stuff happening, and then roll credits. I was like, wow, that was the what is it called? A soft open, cold open?
Monday night. Okay, so before we go before we go any further, I have to flash our new spoiler montage.
No flashing.
Okay. Shout out to Spider God for that. He made that amazing.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty dope. All right, so we're gonna talk about
Yeah.
obviously Across the Spider-Verse spoilers. So if you're watching, come back and finish it after if you don't want to know. If you're here and you already want to know, stay in. You're gonna get the knowing. First of all, the reason why I said I don't think she was a shining light is because there were so many other Spider-Man, so many different Easter eggs, so many different characters. I think in this particular movie that outshone her. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Miguel,
But I think
Jessica
that was,
Drew.
I think that was a conscious choice. For
I
me,
think
it
so
was
too.
Hobie would definitely stole the show in every scene.
Oh
that
my
he was
God,
in.
he was
Everybody
my
loves
favorite
Hobie.
character. Oh
Right.
my,
Everybody
that
loves
would be
Hobie.
me
Oh,
if I were British and a
Spider-Punk?
spider person.
Mhm.
Oh, God, I loved him.
That would be me as a spider person from Britain. Oh, the
I bet,
establishment.
Tom,
Yeah,
but
you
I
can
don't
suck
think
it.
that I don't think that he's like a true villain. I think
Yeah.
this is just one of those things where it shows you when you're trying so hard. Kind of like the Iron Man thing. You fucked up
Yes.
so bad, so now you exert too much control over other people to stop it from happening again.
Boo.
And then you
20
miss the pictures.
Boo.
The
20
subtle
So I
pictures
think
that
he's
go
got a
on.
redemption coming. I'm
I'm
almost
hoping he
positive.
has a
I
redemption
don't know
coming.
because Miguel is. That was pretty spot on for
Yeah.
Miguel. Miguel is an angry guy that doesn't trust anybody.
All the
Period.
Spider-Man have jokes. Miguel's the one without the jokes. He's
No,
all,
$20.99
he's
does
all
not-
hands.
definitely he's the straight man to every comic.
Well, he has a
style
reason
character.
to be because of
Yeah.
his backstory. So like I get it, but I don't think that he's a villain. I just think that he's just overzealous right now.
Fair enough.
Yes, he is overzealous.
No, yeah, definitely was. I don't think he's the main villain per se, but they are portraying him to be the villain
He
in the
is
movie.
a large antagonist.
Yes.
I
Not
definitely
the
want to.
antagonist, but a large antagonist.
I definitely want to just kind of like bring this up real quick. It was very spot on for the books. It was definitely. So there's been a lot of posts about it. I posted about it. We generally think this is probably the best cinematic Spider-Man we've gotten since. Animated wise, arguably not live action. I hear that Sony and Marvel are going to come together to look for a live action. I don't think we're going to get it unless it's a cash grab anytime soon. Hopefully they don't
think
do
we
it.
need it.
Of what?
Yeah, I agreed. But I think we're gonna get a feature because remember, Tom
What are you
Holland
talking about?
getting a
A live
live
action.
actor for Miles Morales.
Oh, we're going to see it. It's going to happen. I think in the next 4 or 5 years, they're definitely going to do it. It's going to be a cash grab, but they're going to go crazy for it. They need it.
Yeah, because they're already talking about bringing back Tom Holland, and then remember Andrew Garfield's supposed to get his third redemption movie, and they're probably gonna make another Spider multiverse thing. So I think we're gonna get a feature of somebody. Maybe we won't get the face, maybe we'll just get the actual person and maybe the voice. That would be dope. What I wanted to really point out was the message of this movie. There's a lot of messages. For me, one of the ones, the one that stood out because this movie is layered is finding your own way, being in spaces where you aren't welcomed. And it's said in the movie, being in spaces where you aren't welcome and finding your way and showing people that you deserve to be there. And that's just one. I'm going to let you guys talk about it. I don't want to take up too much of the time, but like that's a powerful thing. And I think it pertains to women in general, people of color, you know what I'm saying? People of lower class, generational trauma, like it expands so much. So for you, it might be like, hey, I'm a black person, this speaks to me. But for somebody else who's gone through a generational thing, it's like, wow. And it's so easy to miss that, being that it's one, an animated movie, and two, kind of tailored to be a children's movie. It's really all around, honestly. But it's something easy. But like I've told everybody, I watched it twice. I'm gonna watch it a third time. I'm going to buy more than likely all 3 movies, and I'm going to tape those things up, and I'm never going to watch. I'm going to stream it because these are classics, and I want to pass this down. This is a piece of history that I think needs to be. You remember those capsules we used to have? This needs to be put in a capsule. Best Spider-Man. Best Spider-Man, hands down. I was rocking with Tom Holland. I know people like Andrew. I know people like Toby. That's fine. This is the best Spider-Man. They just need to get his comics correct because he's a great feature, but his comic line, I mean, they introduced some other heroes, but cinematic-wise, it's been amazing. Go ahead, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So to expand on your point, so the speech he gave, alternate reality mom, like, bruh, he's like, I was out there and I saw, and they did not want me.
Okay.
Well, guess what? I'm gonna make my own way. They don't believe in me, but I'm gonna show them. I'm gonna show them my way is a way that can work. I was like, bruh, and I was like, and as soon as he started doing it, I'm like, something's not right.
Yeah.
I'm like, the colors are okay, but something's not right.
Yep.
And I'm like, I see Gwen, she's outside, and I see
It wasn't
Jessica,
raining.
she's outside, but I'm like, something's not right. And
For
I
me,
was
it
like,
wasn't raining.
Yeah.
I was
It
like,
wasn't raining.
yeah,
I
and I was like,
clocked
oh,
the
no.
rain thing before anything else.
I
And
didn't
then
catch it at first. I felt like what Reggie was saying. There was something off with that because of the way she was acting.
Mhm.
And I was like, there's
The
something
colors weren't
wrong
as-
here. It seemed
Well-
too dark. Like the scene, the apartment, a little darker
Yeah.
than what. And I'm like, something's
The
not.
way it was shot, they
But
were
then-
waiting too long
And
for
then
them
when the
to come
uncle came
through,
in, I'm sitting there going, oh, we're not in the right universe here. He's not in the right universe. And then I thought to myself, like earlier, where the spot had said the 42 universe, I was like, oh shit, he's in the other guy's universe.
That was
Wow.
amazing. That little mind blowing scene. They did it really well.
Yeah.
I guess let's talk about the bad really quickly. I don't think there's much, but I think we're going to be here talking about the good. Let's talk about the bad for people who are going to see it or who saw it. What's something that you have a gripe, if anything, with the movie?
I don't mind Spot being the villain and amping him up the way they did, but in the comics, Spot is not that strong at all.
Fair enough.
But I
He's always been a
why
good.
they chose him.
He's always been a good comic relief style. Like he's like Batman's C-list character, like villain in a way, and that's what he was there. And they made him be a little bit better. What I didn't like was how they tried to retcon him. Like, oh, remember I'm the guy you hit with the bagel. Like
that was amazing.
They showed that.
I thought that was funny though.
I thought that's what I was like. You're trying to retcon this guy, and make him the Spot, and make him.
Well,
be
are we
who
sure
he was.
it's a retcon and it wasn't intentional?
I mean,
Like,
it was 5 years, but also
movies.
Yeah,
it
it's
was
true.
5
It's been
years.
5 years. That's true. I don't know. I loved the way he was interacting with Peter. The fight scene where they both didn't know who had the power and what, and everything going different things. I thought that was kind of neat, but at the same time a little chaotic because it was like I wanted him to have like some type of purpose. Like you knew he didn't have his power,
right?
Which wasn't right. He didn't have it fully, visualized or something in my way.
Steven, please go see it.
Well, as someone who is not anywhere near as versed in Spider-Man lore, period, so I'm not even going to speak on any of that because I don't know what I'm talking about. I just really enjoyed the slept-on character. Like they all treated him as a joke.
Yep.
And then sometimes the people that you underestimate and don't take seriously are the ones that fuck you up in the end. And I thought that they did that beautifully here.
Yep.
And I really enjoyed him trying to do a victimless crime, stealing money from that ATM, and how
it's not even yours. It's the bank's money.
That was like the best scene where he's trying to put it through the hole and he's trying to push it through. Like, come on,
right?
Fantastic.
I really, I'm gonna be silent because there's really nothing that I didn't like about the film aside from the fact that it was a cliffhanger at the end. But I can't even say I didn't like that because I know that another movie is coming, and the way that they ended it. That visual at the very end has me so hyped up. I just hope it's not another 5 years.
Yeah.
March 2024, I think it is.
See, and this is why I don't watch spoilers. I did not watch any trailers or anything. I walked in having no idea what was happening, and I am so glad I didn't know. I had no idea what was going to happen, and I loved it.
Even if you watched the trailers, you would not have picked up any of what they.
You
would not.
This is what they need to go back to.
There was so many characters they hid from that trailer too that we didn't see and we didn't expect. Like for me, I loved Spot where he went and they did the Easter egg where he went to the human world and he was talking to the shopkeeper. From Venom.
Venom.
The only thing I was missing in that, and I think they missed it, would have been Venom's voice in the background. Because that would have been just full tilt.
Birdo.
Birdo's going downstairs. Get him.
Was that for Megan? Was that because Megan's watching?
Probably. He's been sitting there. He goes, I'm going to fuck with you in the background. He goes, I'm going to jump on your bed. I'm going to belly flop on the bed.
I'm all into that. We encourage those kinds of shenanigans.
Yes.
But the all of the different things were fantastic and absolutely amazing for the Easter eggs and stuff that they did. I thought it was great.
Can you ask Birdo to do that again?
There's a request for you to do that again. Hold on.
Going downstairs. Oh, he's going in the elevator.
In his younger days, he really would have went to the floor, but now his old knees they crack a little.
I appreciate the effort, even if it went halfway down.
10 out of 10 for
They said they
me.
appreciated the effort even if he
10
went
out
halfway
of
down.
10.
10 out of 10.
He only went half a floor, he said.
The elevator got
Maintenance
stuck
problem.
halfway down. I hate when that happens.
Oh my god. Okay.
Novak says, "What's up, Berto?"
I don't really have anything bad to say except there was like one scene where after fighting Spot, he had a conversation with his dad. His dad doesn't know it's him, obviously. And there's like these weird shots of Alchemax building, and now he walks past you. I'm just waiting. So we're being held hostage. So
Megan
yeah,
says, "Love you."
so I was just kind of trying to figure out why they had those scenes, those shots, because I didn't understand that. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of felt like it dragged a little for that part. But aside from that, there's nothing wrong with this, because even if you think it's slow, by the end it wraps up for it revs up and wraps up for a good reason. And I'm trying not to laugh.
I didn't look at my watch once until I
Yes.
shouldn't do that. I knew that I knew that I had plans afterwards, so I did check just to make sure that we weren't going to be late, which we were. But other than that, I was so invested in the story. For me, there were no slow parts. That conversation that you were talking about, though, is one of those scenes where, like, as a person watching, you're like, how does he not know? Like, how does he not know?
Right. Ooh, Mr. Morales,
But at the same time, I have walked around a convention floor, had a conversation with someone, then went back, took off my glasses, put on my contacts, came back out, and the person didn't know who I was.
Oh,
Like, literally
It does work
nothing,
that
I
way.
just took off my glasses.
all right, Superwoman.
The one character that to me I absolutely loved, and I pray we see more of him or more of his animation or even comic book form, was the India Peter Parker.
Oh, yeah.
Pecho.
Well, you see him as part of that squad at the end, so
Yes.
I'm sure he's going to be in there.
Paviter Prabhakar or whatever his name. I can't say it.
Fantastic.
I absolutely loved his character
Mhm.
and loved the way they animated that whole scene.
His wit was just so on par. He's like,
Perfect.
if you take a close look here, you'll see the traffic, and over here, the traffic, back here, the traffic.
But he was
more
what I
traffic.
Like,
wanted.
why do you call it chai tea? Chai means tea. You're saying TT.
And that's, to me, he was perfect Spider-Man, like the witty banter, the way and stuff he does and stuff like that, the quick wit and stuff. I thought it was a spot on, perfection there.
I love the costume.
Yeah.
I loved his hair, even though that was another one where it was like, how does she not know?
Right?
Who else has hair like
right
that?
up on her was all emotionally, said, oh wait, I need my hero voice.
I love how he talked
Like,
about
who's
his
this
hair.
guy?
I love the way he talked about his hair. And I don't even work out because I don't have to. Like, I don't want to get too buff. I'm like, I kind of identify with this. Oh yeah. So like, there was amazing moments. Okay, I guess we could talk about the references without going over all the references. Please name one reference that you saw in the movie that made you like go mind blown.
Yeah,
All right.
I was gonna say that one.
Okay.
Stop Spider-Man.
You?
Me?
That's from the commercial though. Okay, so Spider God, since you
still.
started, was it the classic meme that got you? And they expanded upon that?
Yes, because they did it in No Way Home. And it's
Mhm.
like, Peter, you no, wait,
That
me?
was funny.
And then it's like they have hundreds of Peter Parkers and Ben Rileys and everyone else. I'm like, wait, who?
And then
this
when
Spider-Man?
that one came out, and they're like, "Get him," and he's like, "Me?" And then you turn around, and he's like, "All
He's all hanging on his backside. He looked like Voldemort there, hanging off the backside of Professor Quirrell.
oh
my god. What was that guy's name that had him on the thing on his head?
I don't know which Spider-Man that was. I think I'm not sure, but yeah, it was Miguel. He's right there. Everybody's like, we see that guy. We know him. That's not Miles.
Now that you said it like
that one too, Tom. When they mentioned Doctor Strange.
Yes.
You know what's crazy? Like when you said it like that, Reg, it reminded me of Bob's Burger. Like his whole family messes with him. He's like, he's right there. Come on.
They didn't have permission to do that jab on Doctor Strange. They didn't have permission to make that joke.
Really?
Really?
Well,
They didn't have
made
permission
it,
for
and
it.
it worked.
Yeah, and it worked well. I loved how they
Miguel's
referenced
and that stupid
the
Doctor
live
Strange
action.
and that spell. I was like, ooh, Miguel
But
knows about
because
the
I
spell.
think it might have been because of the universe designation of 199999.
Yeah.
And then I forgot somebody else called it 616. I forgot her name, whatever her name's.
616 is not
Yeah.
the movie verse. 616 is something different. I forgot which one it was.
Yeah, somebody in Marvel referenced the movie. Anyway, the cinematic universe 616. I forget where. Sid and I, what was the Easter egg?
well, for
or
me, it was
reference?
the Spider-Man movie. That was
Oh,
what I
okay.
was gonna say.
Boo. Okay, fair
I'm
enough.
not
fair
as versed in the Spider-Man world, so I don't have like that one in Doctor Strange. And I'm sure there were others that I picked up in the moment, but I can't think of them right now.
enough. Okay. Peter B. Parker, Bergie. Which one was yours?
For me, the Easter egg that I saw when they did it was Child Gambino.
Yes.
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 You got,
Yes.
you got,
I thought it was just gonna be me saying that. Yes.
dude. When I saw that, I sat there. I was like, oh, they are bringing it full circle now. Yes, so they are acknowledging that he is definitely the Prowler from the main movie.
Yes.
So we have it now. It's now legit, and they showed him multiple times. That's why I say they're going to capitalize on making a live action Miles Morales movie in the next 3 to 4 years. They're going to do something because that man is perfect and they want to get him now. And I think you could do it. I think he'd be perfect. That blew my mind seeing him and the way he interacted with everybody. Absolutely perfect. Loved it.
Let's bring
And
it.
it was
Prowler.
so good.
Mhm.
Dude, as soon as they showed all the people they called, I got hyped at everyone that was in there. I'm like, oh my god, I've played these games. I know these villains. Oh my god.
Yep. And when they showed the rhino, I was like, that's just a rhino. Like, it's a rhinoceros.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they said. And then this, they're like this unassuming rhino. Yeah. I was like, okay, I got you. I see what you did there.
Yep.
Oh, also T-Rex Parker. Oh my god. Jesus,
that
I'm
was
like
hilarious.
And I didn't realize that was a thing. And I was like, I saw it and then I looked it up and I'm like, that's a real thing where the symbiote went back into the time of the dinosaurs. The symbiote got on one and then a radioactive spider bit a T-Rex. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
All right.
But it's Marvel. They did it.
So these were all great references. I'm just gonna add two. The first one is that they had Pokemon cards in there. It's when he's actually laying on his bed right before Gwen comes in.
Yep.
And there's actual references to all the other cinematic Spider-Man. Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and even Tom Holland throughout the movie. And I thought that was amazing. Just to kind of bring it forward, why Prowler, in case you're watching this and you don't know why Childish Gambino, Donald Glover is so important, is because he was on this little show you may know of called Parks and Recreation. It was amazing.
Community.
I'm sorry?
Community.
It was Community?
The college one.
It's
Yeah,
Community.
the college one.
Oh my God. I
Community
said Parks and
College.
Recreation. I'm sorry. Oh my God. So
It's okay. Those reality TV shows like The Office, Parks and Rec, the Community. It's very easy.
Oh my God. Oh, I was thinking of something else. All right. So Community. And what happened was he starts, he's in every episode. He starts off in his Spider-Man pajamas. And the actual community who loved the show Community was like, we want him. They petitioned for him to be Spider-Man. So Brian Michael Bendis took this and created Miles Morales. Now, arguably, I don't think Miles Morales is like Childish Gambino in any sort of way. Like maybe he tried to make it work, it didn't. But people loved it. I mean, obviously there were some people that didn't love it, but we don't care about them. And they wanted Peter Parker. And then boom, we get the Spider-Man Miles Morales in like Secret Wars. We get him in his own comic in the Ultimate Universe, which was a big success. We get him he comes over to the actual 616, and then we get him into the Spider-Verse. And then now obviously in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, we actually get Childish Gambino in the movie as Prowler. And it was referenced in Tom Holland's Spider-Man movie. What was it? Homecoming, if I'm not mistaken?
Yes,
The first one, Homecoming.
Yep.
So, people were like, oh, they were frothing at the mouth. And for them to make it happen was amazing.
When he hit him when he clipped him and he called him the uncle's name, I was sitting there like, oh God,
yes.
He is going to be. Oh, so we have so Miles is technically in this universe. He's in this universe. This makes me so happy.
Right?
That's why I said last week, like this movie is like the ultimate fans movie. So everything you could think of, like I'm sure back in the day when you're on your phone with your friends, texting, calling, whatever you're doing, and you're like,
Group
yo, I
chat,
can think,
AOL Messenger room.
you know it. So that's when we originally had the blue text, the blue text bubbles and the color lettering and all this other stuff and sound quips. So you were like, I could write a better movie. And you and your friend would talk about different things that people you can introduce. This was it. They made the references too. They brought other characters from different universes. They had a great story. I think the ending got everybody. Okay. Can we just admit Prowler Spider-Man or Prowler Morales looks amazing?
Right?
There's something about him
God.
braiding his hair.
Yeah,
it looks
the
so
braids.
natural. Yes, it looks so natural.
And how we got there.
Yes.
With him and his uncle, and they were just sitting there, and all of a sudden you're like, ooh, like where is this going? Like, because you're like, okay, I know this isn't my nephew. Like, who the F is this kid? And for him to play it that smooth, and then all of a sudden he's there, and then Prowler takes off his mask, and you got the braids, and he's like, I gotta save our dad. He's like, your dad.
Right.
But I liked how they ended it when
that
they
was a
ended
very
that movie.
Martha moment.
You saw Miles as he had his hands behind his back, and he was basically going to pull the Peter B. Parker trick on him, and he was going to Venom shock those ropes in a way. Oh, I can't wait for that. That's going to be so eye-opening when that happens.
So the flip thing is
the other one was trying to get him to harness his power.
Hobie's like, use your palms, not.
But how did he know? How did he know that? That's
because apparently Hobie has
that
ability.
It's Hobie.
It's Hobie. Don't forget, Gwen left her sweater, her toothbrush, her sneakers. Just saying.
I just want
to. But notice how Gwen went with a darker Spider-Man when she couldn't get to Miles.
Anyway, on that note, I gotta take off. You guys enjoy the rest of the show, everyone. Hope to see a lot of you at Contropolis, Massachusetts.
Contropolis, Massachusetts, this weekend only.
Okay, bye.
Bye. All right, so I definitely want to say, like, oh man, it's funny because thank you for kicking the microphone, baby. So the way Miles Morales was at the end, he had Peter B. Parker in the previous movie. And it's crazy. It comes around. So there's like,
hey, I'm his mentor. I showed him how to do that, so I guess it makes me a great mentor.
Okay, one of the funniest moments in that movie. There's a lot of funny moments. One of the funniest moments is when his dad was gonna jump in the portal, and then took the steps instead.
Right? You can do it. You can do it.
And then we see him running down the steps. I was like, yeah, I don't blame you, man. I'd be doing the same thing. You don't need to bust the knee.
Did that in the first movie too.
Yep. But when he did that at the end, where he sat there and he was going to zap him, he was telling him, like, no one ever focuses on the hands. Right, the way he did it, and it was perfect. And I'm like, oh, it's coming. It's coming full circle. He's doing it.
Yeah.
So
he
will have to be seen as a legit Spider-Man after this.
So Tom, I think was it Tom said that no, somebody's comic dropped. Tom was talking about it real quick. I'm gonna go back up. It's in the comics, amazing, blah 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 blah. I think it was Spider-Punk. I think he was talking about Spider-Punk. Either way, Spider-Punk is gonna go up in popularity. Value. And I you know what? Not for nothing. I want to see like every Spider person is drawn differently. Spider-Punk is kind of drawn in that radical cutout highlighter kind of deal. You know what I'm saying? It
almost felt like stickers.
Yes.
It felt like a weird, and it went, and I noticed that with certain scenes with him seemed it was either in color or in black or white.
Yes.
And it was like, depends on the individual, like the way the scene was playing out. If it was going to be something humorous,
depending on how he felt,
color.
Where he was.
Yeah.
Yes. And I noticed when he was around Miguel, it was a darker gray colored tone.
Because he doesn't like him.
Yeah, and I did like one thing I did love about Hobie was he stole pieces from everywhere he went.
Yes.
He was just like, oop, need that, oop, got that. He was touching everything,
and it was great. And and you realize why he did it at the end is to give Gwen the bracelet.
Yep.
And notice, I figured Miles was going to go back and get his bracelet because he literally opened it up, opened the portal, pulled it off, dropped it, and dipped out. So I'm like, Miles is going to go back for that, but he didn't.
But he didn't know he didn't know he did that.
True.
Miles was already gone by that time.
This is true. I just figured Miles is going to go back for it. But had he, we wouldn't have got what we got at the end. So I like this better.
Yeah.
So yeah. Tom, you said his new book dropped today in comic book shops.
Oh, did it? I was just at the comic store.
I don't.
Is it Hobie dropped or was it? Because I was talking about the Spider-Man India. So
it might have been
one?
India.
Spider-Man India. I need to find
which one dropped.
So that which was also who's also very popular as well. So Hobie for me, I think first of all, if you're gonna go see the movie, if you're here and you didn't see the movie,
if you made it this far,
if you made it this far. I should have said this from the get-go. There are two things you need to do. Number one, I would prefer that you spend the extra money and get assigned seats. So you don't have to worry about coming 15 minutes earlier. Oh, come on, it's no longer the 90s, man. You can do better. You can get assigned seating.
Or you can live in Colorado and all seats are assigned seats.
There you go. So get assigned seating and sit where you want to sit comfortably. I don't think they've enacted the pricing surge where if you sit in the middle, it costs more. I didn't see it over here yet, so you're fine. And the second thing is you want to get a theater where the audience will definitely respect the movie and the system is clear. And I say that because Hobie will speak, and because he has a British accent, you're going to miss certain words unless you're really good with accents. And then you understand under accents.
There are moments where he's like talking under his breath.
Yes.
He's talking crap about the establishment.
Yes.
So anytime Miguel is around, he'll say something to Miguel and then down here. And he's saying that just for the Spider people around him.
And the crazy thing is when we get this movie and we're able to watch it with the closed caption, there's going to be so much stuff that we miss in dialogue that makes so much more sense. So
I'm going to watch the shit out of this movie when I get this on DVD or Blu-ray or something.
Same.
I hope they come out with a cool box set for this. They got to give me something.
I think they are. I don't. You know what? And then one of my friends. Okay, so really quick, let's talk about the streaming thing. A lot of people are kind of like upset or up in arms about the streaming thing. They feel like one, if it's streaming too quickly, the movie wasn't that great. Kind of like, ironically, Disney hasn't said anything about the Little Mermaid, which kind of shows you like the Little Mermaid's out there to make money. You know what I'm saying?
But also with Little Mermaid, they're getting hurt right now because you have a box office hit week after week lately.
Yeah.
A lot of these movies are going to take a cut now.
But that's
they're going to lose big time.
But I think Disney's playing the long game.
Oh yeah.
How many movies does Disney have in the top 10 though? That's the question.
Right. And even if they're getting half the profits with Sony, they're still making money. You know what I'm saying? For Across the Spider-Verse. Across the Spider-Verse, I think is at 417 million, and I think it cost 100 million to make. Whereas
I think that's just domestically too.
Yeah, that's domestic.
So there's that.
That's domestically, not internationally.
There's that. I think worldwide, the Little Mermaid's at like 4 something, and it costs like 250 mil to make it. So like they're playing a long game. And honestly, and for anybody that doesn't understand, for them to take it out the movie theater means they make more money. Why? I'm so glad you asked. I hear you, Burge. I'm gonna let you speak. I got you.
Yep.
They don't make money immediately. It's keeping their subscribers subscribing, right? And then also using that to fund and get loans or whatever they're doing for future projects. Because trust and believe, as I told everybody here, I did not see Into the Spider-Verse streaming at all. And I got told from somebody else it was in Netflix, allegedly in a different region because America is ghetto. But anyway,
region locked.
right. It was region locked. You know what I'm saying? But they're definitely gonna do both. You know what I'm saying? In August. So everybody's going to be watching both films. And they're going to be like, look at this traffic. Don't you want to invest in us? We should give us money. Then we can do this. So they're going to make money in the long term. And then, of course, more than likely a month or two, right around the seat, they're going to start selling the DVDs. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be surprised if they start selling the DVD. They're thinking long term. They got Across the Spider-Verse, which is happening. Let's just say the success is happening in August. And then Little Mermaid, probably for Christmas. That's what I'm thinking. Christmas. Bring for these holidays for Christmas. Bring the Little Mermaid back home. You know,
I don't think they wait that long for Blu-ray DVD on the Little Mermaid.
Actually, not anymore. No, not anymore.
Spidey never ended. Lewis, definitely explain that when you get a chance. Go ahead.
Yeah. I don't think they're gonna wait because back in the day, like remember going to see Home Alone. Mm-hmm. When I went to see Home Alone the first year in the movie theater, mm-hmm. You saw it in the movie theater. That was in the theater till like March or April, and that was like number one for like every weekend. Yeah. And then it didn't come out on at the time VHS until almost the following November because that was a holiday thing. So that's why they were trying to do it. Now they want to capitalize on the profits as fast as possible. So if they do this, this will be in the movie theater. You'll probably see it on like Apple TV, Amazon TV, or something like that, where you can buy it or rent it.
Yeah,
and they'll probably make it $30 to buy it.
Of course,
probably $19.99 to rent it. That's what they'll do because they want to capitalize it. Because people that didn't go see it in the movie theater, they're going to do it, and then it'll be 2 weeks later. The Blu-rays and DVDs will come out on sale. But for that, like, there's about a month there where it's not in the theater where it doesn't make sales for them. So they got to try to capitalize on as fast as possible.
right?
And arguably they're making, I don't know how it's broken down, but they're probably making more money from you buying and or renting it online. All right.
Well, remember, movie tickets are $10. They
No.
get like 70%.
Not in New York. Not in New York. Not in the Upper East. You're looking at 13, 15 plus. You know what I'm saying? So
Actually,
maybe back in the day. Let me tell you. Actually, you know what? He's right. It's
Is that IMAX or regular?
$10 and unassigned. Get there 15 minutes before the movie starts to get your seat. Movie theaters. That's where it's $10. Kid theaters, $10. In New York, we got a Kent theater right over here in Brooklyn. $10 for adults. You got to get there before 15 minutes before the show starts, and it's a kiddie theater. Other than that, you're getting a side seating. It's 13 plus. 15.
Where I am, I saw it the opening night on Thursday night to see it early, and I saw it in a Dolby Atmos, surround sound. It was $14.50 to see it. Weekend, if you go see it on a Saturday,
I'm not watching movies
that is
in
correct,
theater on
yeah.
the East Coast.
Yeah.
Dude,
it's for, and that was for that. Now, if you went to the A plus theater part of that theater, it's $18.50 to see it.
Yep.
Because it's a dining experience.
Wait, what?
Yes. The dining go. Listen, we have the Alamo Draft House. It might be 15, it might be 18, depending.
That's all included in Colorado. There's like one theater here that
we live in New York
like that where you can actually get food.
The rats even pay rent, okay? The rats in New York pay rent. They don't pay much.
Pay rent, man. It's high.
You know? Shredder's got to pay rent, so the rats got to pay rent.
Splinter's got to pay 4 rent. Kids. He's got to pay rent.
Everybody's got to pay rent. Lewis, Across the Spiderverse was the movie that never ended, and we have it now part 2. Yes, Kat left before I could say this. I feel like they advertised it as a singular movie, and then right before it dropped, it was like it's a part 1, and then nobody paid it attention until people were like, "Yeah, it's a part 1." So they got us with that.
There was a couple of kids in the theater with me, and it was the dad and like 2-3 kids. And at the movie ended, the dad stopped and he looked and he goes, "Wait, that's the end?"
Yeah.
Oh, come on, that's horse shit. I need the ending. I need the ending right now. This kid's like, "I told you it's part 1. I told you it's part 1." The dad was arguing, No, they're not going to do it like that. And I sat there, I leaned back, I was like, "No, bro, it's only a part 1. We got to wait, a year or so probably for part 2. He's like, "Oh, that's horse shit." Like, I ain't arguing.
Yeah. No,
I agree with you.
Listen, Tom, streaming is releasing in August. Yeah, we definitely said that. For sure. Listen, I will pay the $18 once again because me and Burgie, we talked about the movie experience when they were talking about getting people to come back, and we had a whole plan. Mm-hmm. If the movie experience is worth it, people will pay. It's a chance for them to get out. It's a chance for them to enjoy a movie with their loved ones and others. Sometimes you get a funny comedian inside the movie theater. It's a great experience. Movie studios aren't worried about that anymore. They're like, "Here, take your little $6 or whatever you take for the movie ticket. And then after that, when I get it to my streaming, which is on a server, I'm going to make all the money." To buy and rent. Do you
know how long it takes a movie theater to actually make money back on these movies?
Mm-hmm.
It takes them almost 6 to 7 weeks of that streaming in the movie theater for them to recoup the cost on getting that movie. So one of the people, Chrissy, that works with us for Comic-Con, does a lot of stuff for us. She ran a movie theater. And when Avengers came out, like Endgame, it took her 2.5 months before she turned a profit on that movie.
Yeah.
They make all their money on the popcorn and soda.
Mm-hmm.
So that for the first 2.5 months, she made no profit on that. And every screen she showed it on, she had to buy it to see it. Yep.
So listen,
see you Friday, Lewis.
So definitely, I just add on to that. The movie experience is dying. It's dying. It's dead. AMC and everybody else, Regal, if you guys don't get smart, instead of trying to charge people more money to sit in the center. You need to offer a better experience to make people want to go, and arguably give them really good discount prices. I understand these things cost money, but if you find a better way to do that and host different things than movies, because arguably I would say this year I was kind of slow with movies up until recently. You know what I'm saying?
Oh God, yeah.
We got some
exploded.
right. We got some great. We even got some horror movies coming out that look amazing right now. You know what I'm saying? So, up until summertime, summertime, you want to be as smart, as efficient as possible. You got to understand these studios will definitely play the piper for now, but ultimately they're gonna look to be like, you can see this movie like they did before for $20 straight off the streaming service, anytime you want, as long as you want. Pay $20. There's no middleman. It's just them and you, their server, your home. Why would you not pay the $20?
But also, I think another thing that movie theaters need to do is involve the families more. You want to make money off that. Involve the families and do stuff. Interact with your neighborhoods and your things. Like we do Comic-Con stuff. How many of yous wouldn't have went to a theater? You would have went to a theater probably with some friends or something like that. If you known like, hey, I'm gonna have a bunch of Spider-Man out here for this opening of this movie, and the kids are gonna go nuts and take a photo with Miles Morales, a Spider-Man, Gwen, have a Venom out there, something like that. That's something that they can capitalize. That brings in more people and families. That's a lot of things that they need to do and work on that for other shows and do family type events. I think that's one way for them to make money, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about Spider-Verse here.
Yeah, that's true. No, you're 100% correct. And I'm just gonna add my last take on this. I think Disney, particularly Marvel, is stupid right now. Don't get me wrong; they're making money hand over fist, but they're not engaging content creators. They're not engaging successful content creators.
Technically, that is wrong, but you are right. So the Lego scene was actually
that's
done.
different. Hold on.
No.
You got a great point, because I was gonna wait till we come back to Spider-Verse first. Okay, so good. I'll let you say that. I'll let you say that part. That's for you. What I'm saying is, aside from this movie alone, regularly, there's somebody I know, as far as a content creator who talks about comic books all the time. You need to have said persons, not just this person, talk about the movies, talk about different things, and push it out there, because people are watching it on the gram. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to show my phone. On the gram, you know what I'm saying? On their phone, on Twitter and such. And yeah, it works word of mouth. But you just doing your little post or whatever, it's not. You got to engage, have content creators. You know how many people you said, hey, content creators, all you have to do is dress up as Spider-Man or whatever, Spider-Woman, your favorite Spider person, and come in and we'll do a little something, and maybe an interview with Shamik Moore and everybody else, Daniel Kaluuya. What? That people of color, Spider fans, people just interested in general, women, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, these are all different marketing groups. I'm not what's the word, disorganizing or just taking them apart like that. That's how people look at us in the real world, in America at least. You know what I'm saying?
That's how corporations look at us.
That's how they market us. You know what I'm saying? And arguably, if you don't know, the biggest spending group is women. So they have the most power, believe it or not. So if they did that and they kind of reached into that, they'd be much more successful. Disney and Marvel needs to lean in. But if I'm going to be honest with you, I think there's too much secrecy. There's a lot of secrecy on Marvel's side. Everything has to be hush hush.
I'm sorry, they had Tom Holland and Mr. Hulk for how long spoiling their movies?
They tried. They tried.
Now one of them got a tranquilizer dart somewhere, and just you see him knock off on Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah,
right?
It was coming.
Well,
though.
how about they told Tom Holland the wrong script?
Right?
Because they were afraid he was going to leak.
Yeah.
They did that for two different movies on him.
At the end of Endgame, he thought he was going there for a wedding.
Yeah.
Right?
That's why you see him. He's sitting there like, and he's all smiling because they told him it was a wedding, not a funeral.
Yeah.
That's why. I think that's hilarious.
They had to. Go ahead. But they do reach out to content creators. They know how to. They do definitely know how to.
Goofy, what's up?
Tell them what happened with the Legos, Reggie.
So there was a kid
fantastic.
That did a short, did the remake of the trailer for Into the Spider-Verse with Legos.
Yep.
They actually reached out to that kid, so every Lego scene you see in the movie was done by this kid, and he submitted that back to them, and they put that back into the movie.
And he was, I think, 14 or 15 years old?
Yeah, he is not older than 15,
insane.
16. Right? And now he's in an actual Hollywood movie with his art that he did because he loved it so much.
This man made Lego into a movie, and he was 14 years old. Probably was doing this with his home laptop and like camera and stuff like that. And he did that. He's 14
motion,
years
click,
old.
click, click, click.
Yeah.
So his name is Lego Me _ the OG. And he, after the movie came out, he said, yes, that was me. And he did an amazing job. My favorite part is the SWAT scene is beep, boop, when he makes the sound. It sounds like he makes the sound himself.
He does. Peter makes the sound. He's like beep boop.
Yeah. It's amazing.
And you got him sitting there like, I was dying. I was like, that is fantastic.
But 14 years old, he remade the commercial, and they said, we want you to do this scene. And he did it. Two things.
Sounds like that boy better be hired for the next Lego video game somewhere.
Facts. The next Lego movie.
Right?
Lego Spider-Man, what's up?
You know,
give me that. I'd buy it all day. Play it.
They saved so much money hiring him to do that scene. I'm sure they cut him a check, lawyers and all that good stuff. But think about if they were to actually get some, they probably weren't even going to go with that scene. They're probably going to have it animated, and that's the animation budget would have been higher, and they saved so much money. And this kid has so much clout. You know what I'm saying? I say that respectfully. You know what I'm saying? Like, I did that. Big shout out to Metro Boomin. I don't think you guys understand what
speaking of Metro Boomin, he did have a cameo in the movie.
Yes,
I was Spider-Man's like, you can't go anywhere, Miles. There's nowhere left to go. Guys, I didn't honestly realize he was gonna jump out that window. My bad.
That's on me.
That's on me.
Yo, shout out to Metro Boomin. He produced the soundtrack. I would say, let's just say there's 10 songs. I think it's like 13. I think 7 of them were used in the actual movie, and not like the whole songs per se, but cut up, and it's so impactful.
Actually, what I want to say is Metro pulled a RZA.
Okay.
Because there's been like 4 movies where RZA did just the soundtrack, and he did like the first one was Ghost Dog, and bruh, what RZA did, bruh.
Unfortunately, I think, and you know what? Maybe we should go over the soundtrack. This is a geek thing of the music. I honestly think with this, he's either on the same level as RZA or he surpassed them, and I think he's really in contention with Ludwig. I'm sorry, Ludwig is a composer.
Is that guy? He's that guy.
He's that guy. He's a composer. You understand? And when you guys get a chance, listen to it. If you haven't, listen to the soundtrack. And once again, it's rap. If you're not into rap, fine. Listen to the instrumentals. And then just think about how it related to the actual movie. Obviously there was a team that cut it up and said, we're going to use this, But it was amazing, man. This film just encapsulates what I want to say, what it means to be a Spider-Man in the modern day, but also I would argue up until like the 70s on. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because I believe Miles Morales is a more relatable Spider-Man than Peter Parker ever was. Sorry.
This is true.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
Dude, you're not going to find any disagreements here. I agree with you wholeheartedly because original Peter, he was set for the time in which he debuted.
Right.
Like the kids back then, and when Peter was in college, yeah, dude, Peter, like, I just need to study. This girl doesn't. And Miles is how kids are today. Yeah. How kids were when I was a kid. Yeah. Like, I understood what he was going through completely. It's like, I'm without the powers, but it's like, I've been through this. I understand you completely. I've been grounded for a month. I understand that. I don't like it, but it was just basically, if you were born anywhere from 1977 to like 2001, Miles, you can see yourself in Miles because he is that every kid. He is the way that most people want to see Spider-Man and how they can identify themselves with Spider-Man. It's like, I went through that. I got grounded, all that good stuff. Yes, sir.
Can I add one last thing? Also, I said he was the best cinematically. I also forgot also on the game because arguably he was supposed to be a DLC for Spider-Man on Sony.
Got his own game.
He got his own game and was super successful to the point where the head creator was like, we wanted to add, kind of like the swag that makes Miles Morales Spider-Man, and people were kind of like, clowning him because they didn't think he was in touch. He was in touch enough because he captured it. And guess who's in the new Spider-Man 2 game? Well,
Awesome.
technically 3.
Well,
guess who's on the
I
cover
was gonna
with
say-
Peter Parker?
Mm-hmm. Good.
And keep in mind, June 16th, Friday, pre-orders go up live for Spider-Man the Collector's Edition, which I will be ordering.
Yes.
Cannot
Collector's
wait because
Edition.
it comes with a Venom statue. It comes with a Venom statue fighting Miles Morales in one hand and Peter Parker in the other hand. So I am buying that Collector's Edition because I'm
Yeah,
a
sounds like-
Spider-Man.
Where's this at? Hold
nut,
up. Where's this
and I
at?
cannot
Hold up.
wait.
It's probably on the
GameStop.
Sony store. Oh, okay.
GameStop.
GameStop's going to be
Oh.
doing. I think GameStop's doing it Friday, June 16th. It's supposed to be like $50 for a drop down. It's like $240 or something. But that's why I can lay away it
How
till
big is it?
October.
How big
The
is the
statue is supposed to be 18 to 22 inches tall.
I don't know if I have space on it here. I may have to get.
Oh,
I may have to. Put
It's
that
about
down.
it's about the add a third pop on top of those 2 pops you got standing there with the cat ears, and that's probably how tall it's going to be. Yep.
All right, Bergie. I'll be
Venom
talking to you
fighting
very
them
soon.
too. Oh God, give me that.
Yeah,
wait.
listen. This movie is a classic. This movie is a great animation. It just raised the bar for animation. It raised the bar for animated movies with an actual storyline and just motive. It's all together. The
We're
cast was
talking about
amazing.
animation.
Mhm.
We're talking about animation, right? Look at the different animation that they did, even with Gwen Stacy, from the beginning of the movie
Right?
to the way it
Yes.
went to the end.
Dude, that
The
watercolor.
watercolor.
Oh my
The
God,
watercolor
that was
look
so
to it and the
amazing.
different
Yes.
stuff, and the way
Yes.
they made it, where it was like the pinks and the blues and the greens, and almost like pastel, but that watercolor. And then certain scenes were like really in focus and out of focus.
Yes.
They did an absolutely amazing job with the background, with her and her dad talking, and the way they were hugging. Like, I just want you to be my dad. And absolutely insane. It was so good.
And I love the way that they made
I was
it.
going to say, hold on,
grittier.
for nerds of the round. Hey, me and Mayhem are available for the next time you do this. We'll definitely go. We'll
Same.
chat.
Promote. Say, hey.
Big shout out to Nerds
I
of the Round.
want to go see the movie again one more time.
I'm going to say it the third time. Big shout out to Nerds of the Round, another content creator. Big shout out to Sebastian Lawtone.
Yes, Sebastian,
and Val,
good guy.
of course, they had us on their show. I've known these guys for a long time. They were on our show previously. Great guys. You definitely check them out.
Yes. And with Gwen scenes, you
Disclaimer.
can tell the emotional impact. Because granted, they were trying to cue it up, but they also just had it as part of the background. You can tell
Yeah.
the more out of focus it was, the more out of touch her and her dad were. But the more you could actually see
Yes.
individual items along with what the watercolors dripping down, lets you know how close they got to each other. And then at the end, when she went to go save Miles, it was like, bam, it's drawn perfectly because they got back in sync
perfect
with
in
one
color. Oh.
Ooh.
And then just
Can I
that
just-
scene at
so
the end.
good.
With that scene at the end where they're sitting there and you got Peter B. Parker with Mayday, and then he looks at Mary Jane, and Mary Jane just looks outside and goes, I think, and he looks out there and he looks at Mayday. I was like,
Don't tell your mom.
oh yes, we get the baby again.
Yeah.
I can't wait. Like, I was so happy.
I just want to say, like, another thing that was amazing was so one of the themes is like forgiveness. You understand?
Yeah.
I don't know how to put it per se, but it's like forgiveness, because with spider people, they never tell, generally don't tell the people they love that's closest to them their secret identities. Gwen found out, and you know what? This is probably going to be a thing in the third movie. Gwen's father, Captain Stacy, found out, and he kind of had the same reaction that Andrew Garfield's Gwen Stacy had. You know, it's like, oh, you know, I gotta arrest you and kind of stuff, and it broke her heart. But even before it led up to that, like, he's like, I'm gonna catch Spider-Man, and he asked for a hug. And you know what it's like to hide something from your parents, but you want to tell them, but you can't. And you guys are having like this conflicting moment. And he's like, I don't want to argue with you. Can I, you know, is it too wrong to ask? And she like gave him a hug and it turned bright. And I think anybody who's never had like that parental closeness, or maybe has gone through something like that, just kind of appreciate moments like that throughout the movie. You understand? Once again, so many layers, so many things, so many messages. If you'll understand when you see it, especially with Gwen, the colors help you understand and really take in the messages of what's going on. And once again, this movie, to me, I didn't even give my rating. I just realized that I got to give this a perfect 10. What I consider a drag somewhere is possibly me not understanding it, but because if anything, it's like, if it's like bad here, it makes up with it here. And it just tips the scale so good. You want to talk about animation? We just said the animation was amazing. You want to talk about music? The music is amazing. The music cues is amazing. The acting is amazing. The story, by far, probably one of the best Spider-Man stories we got on screen. I'm really trying to think. By far, you know what I'm saying? So like, I keep saying amazing. I don't want to say amazing Spider-Man, but you know, like it's so
Spider-Man,
good.
it's amazing.
And then
It's true though.
And then they found time to give us, you know what you want? References, Easter eggs to show you everything's connected.
And so on the Easter eggs channels I watch on YouTube, I haven't watched them yet because I always watch them with the wife.
Mm-hmm.
There's 300. Each one of them has come up to close to or just over 300 separate references in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even all the spider people. It's everything that's happening around the movie. It's just so crazy.
And we're not even talking about like some of the characters that they threw in there, like what's his name, Scarlet Spider.
Oh my God,
Samberg.
Ben was so,
you know,
that's how dramatic Ben is.
The way he was drawn in that like type of, like that 90s action style. Like I was like,
yes.
Oh my God, this is so beautiful.
I'm brooding.
Yes.
Andy,
God,
beautiful
like,
man.
I've got you my perfectly sculpted arms. You're not getting away, Miles.
So amazing. Like, and we're not even talking about some of that stuff. And like, I was hoping that we might have gotten a reference to Liz, you know, the female Doc Ock. Like, I wanted to see that.
There was a little bit. There's a little flashback of Liz.
Yeah,
just a little one.
You know, and talk about like the fact that we're seeing some of the like where Miguel was telling him about like the key points and what causes the universe to begin, and we see all those different comics, and they showed all those comics throughout the that scene, of showing them, and then we see Andrew Garfield's, we see Tobey Maguire's version, then we see the comic book version, we see all that stuff, the video game versions, we see amazing. The details that they put into this movie was perfect.
We did. So really quickly, we see all your comments. You know, I try to highlight them. So if we don't address them directly, which we generally do, just know we see them. Sebastian, yes, we did. We just talked about it right before you came out. I think we just talked about that. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's what I was just saying. I just think it was amazing. Sorry. Continue.
No, okay. So I mean, there's so much we can say about this. There's so many references and the personal things. Will Gwen and Miles get together? I'm personally rooting for Spider-Bite. I'm just saying, but Spider-Bite,
right?
But I don't know how old.
It's not going to be him and Gwen. Gwen hurt him too bad. She hurt him.
He could grow up. We can see. And sometimes they break up to make up, and we'll see. I want to know the deal about Spider-Bite. She might be a new person that gets also some popularity, and we can find out some more things about her. Because I knew nothing about her, honestly.
Right, same here. I'm like, yo, who's that?
Jessica Drew, Issa Rae's character. I would love where she gets her infinite amount of motorcycles. Because
she be throwing them. She be throwing them at me.
Because how?
All right. Can we just talk about the opening sequence with the Vulture?
Okay.
With the way that was created.
Hammer space, though. That
right, dude. As soon as they said that, I lost my shit. I was like, oh, I had to keep it calm in the theater. I was like, they said hammer space. Dear God, it's from the 90s. I know it. I love it.
Hammer space.
Yes.
Just think, I forgot what else it's called. Just think the magical pouch that Hermione had. Just think wherever Spider-Ham gets his mallet from, hammer space. Yeah.
And like you see that when he gets his wing ripped off and it unfolds. I was like, oh my God, we're talking origami here. This guy is amazing. I love this as Leonardo da Vinci. Like, absolutely amazing that we got him in here, and he actually seemed like a viable villain. The Vulture actually a viable villain.
He seemed like the Vulture mixed with the Green Goblin with his bombs.
Yes,
and then the fact that he could use hyperspace to kind of repair himself. I kind of wanted to see it. And it's funny too, because I kind of get mad at them. I'm like, why aren't you guys better? But then remember, they're still fairly new Spider people, with the exception of maybe Miguel O'Hara. Miles has been Spider-Man for a year now, and then I think the same for Gwen. If anything, they kind of left it ambitious.
And then Indian Spider-Man was 3 months. 3 months, and he's already on the team.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that was amazing. Real quick, what did you guys think about the development of Miles and his family?
It's so because that's how a kid of his age acts with his parents. And bro,
what about the whatever scene? Whatever.
I've had falling outs like that with my parents, and it's like I'm a young angsty teen. I'm raw. You don't understand, and technically they didn't understand because the world I'm growing up in is not the world they grew up in.
I think they would understand better. First of all, shout out to Miles' mom talking to Gwen. So don't take him for me. I'm joking, but not really.
Not really. Right?
Shoot by the bird or somebody.
Mama bears don't play.
Nope.
I think they would understand him better to an extent if they knew about his identity. But he was like he's afraid because they won't love him.
Because the way his dad talks about Spider-Man, so
Mm-hmm.
It's not as bad as Captain Stacy, but it's up there. And he's like, I want to tell you, but the way you keep talking about him, I don't want to tell you because I don't know how you, like he said, if I tell them, will they love me the same?
I think everybody has had this one conflicting moment where it's like, I want to talk to my parents really bad about something. And it's like, maybe I'll die with this in the grave instead.
We really don't need to discuss this.
Right, you know, and then and it turns out maybe you do talk to them a little later on that same year, maybe a couple years down, or as an adult, you're like, hey, remember that time? Because as an adult, you realize maybe it wasn't as important as you thought it was, you know?
Yes.
I thought the development with the parents was genuine. The fact that he was grounded but still allowed to chase after that girl, Gwen, was amazing. Was amazing because I could see my dad or my mom like, yeah, you're definitely grounded, but go ahead, go get that number, go grow up and be social, you know? I'm still kind of mad at him not being able to find a susceptible place to change because that man is just changing on the fire. And then he drops down.
That scene was hilarious. Dude was like, oh, sweet, Spider-Man. Why are you unzipping your pants in front of me? Click.
I too am an X-Men nerd. I'm letting it draw out because there's been a lot of different X-Men. If we ever talk about X-Men,
dear God, what I've heard about Krakoa.
Real quick, because this is about Spider-Man. X-Men got their own nation, Krakoa. They declared themselves their own sovereign nation. They ended up going to Mars at one point. Excuse me. They found another part of Apocalypse of mutants, which was in a different dimension with a different part of Krakoa. Yes. Arcane. I forgot the name of it. So Krakoa is mixed with another island. It's complete. It's like I don't want to say it's a female, but it's a southern part. Then they went to Mars. Magneto and Storm went to Mars and was head of the council there. Then there was an event where the Celestials came and they almost killed everybody. Sinister took over the universe. Then that got retconned. What's Xavier's girlfriend? I think it's the Irish.
Moira
McTaggart is a mutant. She's no longer human.
I saw that.
And she can affect the timeline. Oh, so you didn't know that?
That's where her kid got those powers. That's where David got them powers.
Mariah McTaggart.
Moira.
If she dies and she keeps all the information from the previous lives and she can affect the time. Good luck. So anyway.
Dude, okay. That makes sense why David was so broken in the brain.
They fought the That's right. They fought the Eternals and a Celestial. Oh, listen. I'm going to binge X-Men. Mwah. Who was the one that set all this up? I don't think it was Brian Michael Bendis. Was it Brian Michael Bendis?
That sounds like some B&B stuff right there.
Her son's name is Proteus, not Legion.
No, Proteus is their other kid. Legion is the one that everyone knows. So Legion is David.
Jonathan
That's
Hickman.
their first kid. Proteus is their second kid because Xavier can't keep it out of Moira.
I mean, she was the one
just that good. I'm just saying, you know.
We all thought that was her mutant power. It didn't. Anyway,
we all have that crazy X. We just can't, you know.
Yeah.
That's for a whole other episode.
Yeah, 100%. The whole. That's a talking one. I will say
that's last step on the L.
Yes, 100%. Let's go back. Before we go off the deep end, and Kat is in here to bring us back.
Nope.
He's saying Proteus is Mariah and Kevin McTaggart.
That's her. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, Proteus is Moira's first husband. Legion is her and Charles.
Listen, it works. Anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing Miles introduced because I think he's going to get revamped in the Marvel universe. Currently, beforehand, he came out around the time with the Ultimate Universe. They had the Hulk, which was Amadeus Cho. No, Cho Chang is Harry Potter, the girl.
That's right.
I had hope for her. I had hope for her. All right.
Same here.
Amadeus Cho. You had Riri Williams. Oh my God, I'm gonna mess up her name. Moon Girl,
yep.
And Dinosaur, or whatever, Rex, or whatever. And I'm forgetting somebody else they introduced. So it's just like a new wave, a new generation of superheroes. He was used to kind of bridge that. He had some great ideas. I don't know if the stories were all that great. I think he was tortured once, and I was like, "Oh, this is character development." And then
nothing.
It just didn't do it for me. I'm gonna read it again. I could be wrong. But I'm looking
You're
to
gonna
see.
make me go pull the books off the shelf now.
No, because Miles is definitely in need, I think, of a revamp. And Tom, since you're here, and anybody else, let me know if they did him right before the movie came out. Because I think they're gonna do it now. They're gonna reintroduce everybody. They're gonna put Spider-Bite and everybody else that was very popular, all that good stuff. Young Nova, the Champions, 100% Young Avengers. They're doing a whole thing. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens, and I think before we get the live action feature, I think we're gonna get him in another cartoon animated series. Like he's gonna be featured.
There is a short that came out at a film festival just like earlier this week or last week.
Okay,
it is a short from. It's not about him being Spider-Man. It's literally the week before he becomes Spider-Man. And all the teen angst and teen stuff that he has to deal with, and then get superpowers on top of that.
He acts like any one of us would. You know what I'm saying? If we were that age and we're like, I'm not grounded, I'm Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying?
Is Spider-Man grounded? Bruh, I'm sorry. She just straight up said, is Spider-Man grounded? And his blood went from the wrong direction. Is Spider-Man grounded? No.
I mean, who hasn't done that? Damn, I forgot what I was gonna say. I was thinking about how Miles is growing as an individual, right? I just wanted to know, what did you guys think is going to happen in the end? We're just doing predictions, and I think we can kind of wrap this up because it's an hour and 12 minutes past our time. Kat left us 30 minutes into this because she had to leave. That's fine. I think we can start wrapping this up. What do you think is gonna happen in the third movie? You don't have to give me a detail. You can just outline it. Let's go.
There's definitely going to be a bridging of everything that's going on in Spider-Verse movies, live action movies. They're going to find a way to bring it all together. And after the end of the third one, if he does not get his own cartoon series, I will be shocked and appalled.
Do you think they will end on a cliffhanger kind of deal?
No. They will, because they're going to end it on a cliffhanger to make you watch the TV show.
Okay.
I think we're going to see in the third one, I think we're going to see a battle, the lines drawn in a way, kind of like almost like the Civil War in a way, a little bit with the
who
characters
with Miguel,
and stuff like that.
Who stands with Miles?
Yep, who stands with Miles, who stands with Miguel. I think we're going to see that. And obviously we see that they have their lines already drawn where, Gwen got the people there for Miles. So I think we're going to see a little bit of a battle. Obviously Miguel has more people because, he's got a little more access there than she does. I want to say I think he's going to try to save his dad, and this is just me throwing it out there, far-fetching. I think the mom's going to pass away instead.
Ooh.
I think so.
I'm just throwing it out there. I just think that's going to happen, and I'm going to be pissed. The captain, his dad's going to be saved. She's going to pass away. And I think that's how it's going to kind of end in a way.
That is technically the reverse of what did happen in the books. Because in the books, he went to go save his mom, but his dad had to go do something else as a cop, and that's how he lost his dad.
But didn't he get them both back when he migrated to 616? Is that correct? Oh, he got his mom back?
I think he got his mom back.
Okay. All right. We're gonna have to do our research on that one. We can all agree.
I'm gonna have to go look at the
movie. So first of all, is it amoxicillin? Did I say that correct? Is it amoxicillin? I'm gonna figure it out because I know that's if it's what I think it is. Great name, Moxie. Definitely.
Amoxicillin.
Yeah. So he definitely is a safe dude, but at the same time, you know, I mean, he's kind of like all of us. Like you saw that portal, and he was like, "Nah, I'm gonna take the steps." Because what if the portal closes? You don't know if Spider-Man's gonna catch you,
or where does it leave? You don't know where it's going,
right?
Yeah. So and then even in the book, it's the multiverse, but we didn't know that. Here's my prediction. Also, before we do have a Facebook right on our wall. Let us know who you think would make a great Miles Morales and a supporting live action cast. I think he's gonna have an amazing battle, a very teachable battle between Prowler, his Uncle Aaron, and actual Miles Morales Prowler, because I can't wait to see that. But then I don't know. I think he's also, as an anomaly, going to set balance to the 42 universe. I don't know how. Maybe
he's gonna Anakin that stuff and kill everything.
Balance. It's possible.
There's only 2 Sith and 100 Jedi. Yeah, balance.
There has to be something, or maybe not. There's going to be an amazing battle because you have, I'm going to call them the Miles team, which is, Peter B. Parker, Spider-Gwen and them. And then you have Miguel O'Hara's team. You know what I'm saying?
Which is
and
everybody else.
And I think they're going to fight each other, and then they're going to have to fight the Spot. And if I'm being a fan, if I'm being a geek, I think the Spot is going to reach in different universes and grab villains for them to fight.
Ooh, I didn't think about that.
That would be interesting.
Wait,
hold up. Before we go on, if they use it, what do they got to do, Mayhem?
Cut the check.
Got it.
They ain't gonna cut his dad. I think they're gonna. I think, and that's what goes to my second part. I think there's gonna be a time thing, and I don't know what they're gonna try to stop. Maybe the Clash of the Universe. Maybe his dad's gonna die at the same time. They're gonna keep doing certain different things, so it's gonna be a timed event. I don't know how they're gonna pull it out their butts, but I think we're gonna get a 2 to 3 hour movie.
I'm okay with this.
I'm okay with that too.
I'm okay with that.
From time because it was a criminal. Yes.
Yes.
Give it to the kid who voiced him, Shamik Moore.
Shamik Moore is way too old.
He's an older gentleman. He can't be Miles.
He's like in his late 20s,
Order
early
42. Mox.
I'm feeling
Thank you. Like they do voice actors. Okay. Man, I love Spot. He's a cutie patootie. Hey, I guess. I think your word for it. Definitely, I understand.
I did like a couple of things at Spot where he's just leaning on something. He's like trying to be all chill, like, "Hi, I'm like the new villain," and then the bread starts falling out of him. Yeah, I thought that was hilarious.
I think if we're gonna talk about what the ending of this movie is gonna be, because technically this is what was the third movie? It's the second movie, part 2. It's the second. So I don't. That is an interesting. Is it still a trilogy? If we're still a second part of the movie,
they have different names. They have different subtitles. It is all Spider-Man into, across, and through beyond. Or beyond.
Yeah,
Spider-Verse.
But is that what they're calling it? Is Beyond Spider-Verse?
Yeah,
beyond the Spider-Verse. Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess so. It's a trilogy. I think whatever happens, it is going to lead into a future project that they're going to pick up.
It better.
I don't know what. I don't know if it's a live. I don't know if it's another animated series. I don't know if it's gonna be another movie. You know what I'm saying? They did such a great job. They did such a great job, and I do want those Jordans. I just want them. I just want to wear them, and I want to display them. That's all. I just wanted to have them display.
Those are Jordans. It's not my fault. We're the same size.
All right, let's add to these questions and we're gonna get out of here. He's gonna create bigger issues. It's weird because the guy who voices the Spot is a horrible actor. Oh, who is that? Can we pull that up?
Jason Schwartzman. Oh. He is a pretty shitty actor.
The Sony Marvel offerings. Ooh. I call it a trilogy. Okay, fair enough. $600 is their going rate. What? All right, real quick before we end this. What do we think about the Flash movie? I've heard it was good, and I've heard it was doo-doo. I don't know.
I'm only watching it for Michael Keaton.
Yeah, I got to see it because of Michael Keaton and who else might be in it. There's been rumors of so many freaking
$600
like guest appearances.
Dude, if Grant is in it, I'll be happy.
Oh, dude, if Grant is in it, I'll be happy.
I'll scream at the dirt.
I think they said all the Batmans were in the movie. I think somebody said that because I kind of want to see that.
All 5?
I believe they alluded to all back because Ben is in it. I think Val is in it, and Keaton is in it. I think they got everybody.
Val in it? Is he in a wheelchair? Because it's the only way he's going to be able to do anything. He can't.
I think maybe
is
they
that
have
Old Man Batman and Batman Beyond? Because I mean, that's the only way you're doing it.
I think they might have him off screen kind of deal.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, because Val's suffering currently from cancer, throat cancer, if I'm not mistaken.
And I know not anybody cares or anybody asks, but Transformers: Rise of the Beast was fantastic.
Okay,
that's all I hear.
So good.
I've been burned by so many times.
So good.
Fair enough.
We all have. We all have, Mox. We all have.
Val is not in it. Fair enough. All right, so if Val's not, I respect that. I think they may have tried it, but it is what it is. All right, we're gonna wrap this show up, guys. Let me know your final thoughts, and we are out of here.
Final thought. I thought this movie was absolutely amazing. I can't wait to see what other stories are going to come out of this or spring out of this. I'm hoping we get some animated cartoon series out of it.
It's not fine.
No, this isn't the Super Mega Fest show. Trust me. No, I think this is going to be fantastic. Okay. I loved everything about Spiderverse, so can't wait to see.
Gotcha. Original.
Good night, Novak.
I want to say they can go up or down, but with the way that 2 went and ended, they literally can only go up from here. Like, if they go down somehow, I'm going to be thoroughly upset and throw my drink at the screen. But if they go up, best Spider-Man trilogy right here.
Yeah. I think the 5 years, I don't know. I haven't heard anything, but I think they took the time to revamp the story, to recreate it, and have an ending. I don't think they're making the ending now. You know what I'm saying? They made it, and then they were like, we're happy with this. It's kind of like the people with Incredibles too. You know what I'm saying? There's such a big following for Incredibles that they took their time and they were like, we're not going to do it. And then they did it. And they were like, we're going to take our time with this one. Screw that. So once again, I agree with everybody. I really want to harp on the message that if you're going to go see Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, it is a movie for both adults and for children, and the messages out there will stick with you through time and time. There hasn't been a movie like that I've experienced in a long time. And I'm trying to think of it now. It's a little bit late, so I'm going to have to come back to this. But I want you to think, what movie gave you a life lesson that you related to and or learned from? And this is the one that I can think of currently. Definitely check out the Facebook page. Let us know who you think Miles Morales live action would be and its supporting cast. We have some great merch. Currently, Burgifine is our best and greatest product. Definitely check the pillow, check the shirt, the hoodie,
get the coffee mug, the hoodie, get it all.
We want to thank Burgifine for working for free $99.
Right?
Until then, folks, thank you for checking with us. Until then, this has been the 4-Letter Nerd, a Hyrule Geek is Unlimited production. Deuces.